All right. And
That would
welcome
devolve
back,
quickly.
everyone, to Rime of the Frost Maiden, episode 26. I realized I was playing background music throughout that whole open, but you know what? It's the opening of the show, and we're going to move past it. We just continue on like nothing happened. I hope everyone is having a good start to their week. How is the party doing tonight?
Oh, pretty good.
I have Twizzlers.
I had Popeyes.
Oh,
I have iced coffee, so I'm doing
Oh.
pretty good.
I have the new Supernatural Tarot deck, so I'm doing fucking fantastic.
A tarot deck?
I
What?
got a tarot today too because Sam put a Housewives tarot deck on our wedding registry as a joke, and I left it there because it was hilarious, and now I have it.
It was probably
Now
the
you
first thing
have
on the
it.
wall, wasn't it?
Yeah. I
That's,
hope there's one of a woman braining a man with a frying pan, so I can leave it in random locations.
No,
For
no,
Sam.
that would have been audited and
No,
taken
there's a
out.
death card. There's a death card, Sam. So I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, that's, naturally,
Standard.
as proven on TikTok recently, is if a woman has 5 plants in her house, they are much more likely to poison their lover than another woman. So, if I go around the room, there's 5 in this room, just as I'm sitting here. So, if there's ever a death card to be played, we all know what happened.
Sleep
Alright.
well, Sam.
Sam's fucked.
I'm making all of my drinks personally from now on.
I'm gonna remember that next time you're like, babe, can you bring me a Coke?
Well, it's a sealed container that's safe.
Is it? Are you sure?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
are you?
carbonated. If you inject it with a needle or anything like that, it's gonna go and spew everywhere. It's 100% safe. And if that's the hill I'm
Whatever
gonna die
makes you
on,
sleep at night, babe.
if that's the hill I'm gonna die on, that's the hill I'm gonna die on.
Hey,
It's a pretty good hill.
What comes first, the wedding or the funeral, though?
Well, time's running out on the funeral.
Stay tuned to find out.
no, it ain't, brother.
All those funds can be rediverted.
I don't think the venue that we chose does funerals, but maybe. Who knows? They don't have anything planned for that day, I guess.
We'll feed your ashes to that really loud cow that moves the whole time we're there.
All right. That's fine. Whatever.
yay
Oh,
D&D.
now that my demise has been plotted, let's go ahead and get into the recap if no further discussions on my death are needed. Going once, going twice. All right. Last week on D&D, we started out inside of the mead hall, to where a mysterious stranger came in and actually hustled Zizix out of his belt of dwarven kind, and was put under a spell for it. He was suggested to make a deal with them, eventually made the deal after a short conversation, and the party then, becoming aware of what has happened, split up and tried to search for this individual who was no more than just Lek in disguise. But having split up, scouring the town trying to find any persons of interest, had no luck coming up with the individual who was to blame for this incident. Returning back, Silas had remained in the tavern and hanging out with Carcass, who was having a good time eating on all of everyone's leftovers who left abruptly. Silas was playing and entertaining the crowd at the tavern throughout that time, and eventually had played the brown note on Lek, and poor Lek shit his pants and had to go wash up, and left again for a time. But regardless, after that, the party then sought out Olivessa to kind of discuss what was going on in the town, and they got into a little bit of a conversation about her nervousness regarding the 10 Towns speaker meeting that is to take place in Bryn Shander in 2 days' time. for one, the blizzard impeding the amount of travel that is, or the difficulty of travel rather, has some concern for her, and then got into a number of other topics the party kind of listened to and followed along and got filled in on. But where we pick up, I believe, unless I'm misremembering where we left off, was you guys heading back to the tavern to rest for the night. Is that correct? Or did we get through that? I cannot recall off the top of my head.
Pretty sure we rested.
I wasn't sure if you had started to make your way out of town or not. That's why I'm not sure if we... I remember the decision to rest was made, but you had
We
not
haven't
made
left town yet,
arrangements.
no.
Okay. Sounds good. So we'll pick up the next morning unless anyone had some underhanded things that they wanted to do during the night time that they can either message me privately now and we can sort out, or remain silent to disclose that nothing fishy is going on this night.
Embrace the silence.
All right.
Yes, I'd like to slit Lex throat.
Okay.
Not really, but you know, just keeping you on your toes.
I was fully prepared for that.
Noted.
In the Stars Without Number module, they had a whole dynamic system set up for that, which I was really looking forward to, because if you go to assassinate someone with a high AC, even with advantage sometimes it's hard to make those successful hits. But regardless, we find ourselves in the morning after the previous day in the mead hall. Food is cooking. It smells pretty decent. Kind of a sweet undertone throughout the air, as if what was made this morning was made with honey. A few patrons are enjoying their breakfast coffee in the corner and having a small conversation as everyone starts to converge into the dining hall. So what would you guys like to do at this time?
I'll help myself to some breakfast.
Breakfast time.
Andy will get some for herself and Carcass.
All right.
Lek will go over to Andy and say, "Hey, Andy, I dare you to tell the bartender what's cooking good looking."
Why would I do that?
Well, why not is the question you should be asking, Andriana. Adriana. I'm
Why
gonna
don't
call
you tell him
Andriana from now
yourself if you're so interested?
Maybe I will. Lek turns around. "Hey, barkeep. What's cooking? Good looking?"
Andy watches curiously.
And this older woman says, "Oh, you flirt? Well, this morning we have a very nice honey toast and eggs. Salmon eggs. Knucklehead trout eggs. It's like caviar."
I'm sorry, but did you say Sam and eggs? I will definitely take some of that. I always love to eat lots of Sam. Lots of Sam and eggs. Sam is delicious.
Well, I misspoke. It's not salmon. It's just the knucklehead trout.
Oh, but that's still delightful, and I love honey on everything. With some tea, if you don't mind, madam.
Sure thing. Would anyone else like any breakfast at this time? Or something different?
Sure, I'll take breakfast, and my friend over there will take 2. She points at Carcass.
All right.
I would not be opposed to some knucklehead trout and eggs. A little bread and honey if you have it as well.
We do.
I will also like some breakfast.
All right.
And Eclipse is gonna like slink up behind Lek, and she's gonna say, "I didn't know you were into older women."
You know, Eclipse, I'm into. I turn and look at her very closely. A lot of things.
Oh, like shitting your pants?
Yes, absolutely. I love the feel of warm brown trickling down my pantaloons, pooling in my calves, not making it past the tightness of my thighs. No, Eclipse, I don't like shitting my pants, but I always enjoy our talks.
For sure. Keep it up, man.
All right.
Lex stares at Silas for like 5 seconds.
Silas will raise his glass to him.
Lex will smirk and shake his head and go back to eating his breakfast.
Eclipse is gonna give Silas a thumbs up.
One back to Eclipse. How's your breakfast, Lek?
You know, it's very, very good. It's so good that I feel the need to keep it very safe. Just, protect it, because you don't always get to have a good breakfast, and it would be a shame for anything to happen to it. Thanks for
Yes,
asking.
as I understand. Your dinner didn't seem to agree with you. I'm truly sorry to hear that. How's your stomach feeling today?
Well, bowel's half full. At least I'm cleaned out now.
That's wonderful. There's nothing quite like a clean colon. It's absolutely breathtaking. I'm proud of you.
Yes.
Andy just wrinkles her
Thank-
nose and looks between them.
Thank you. I'm very, very good. Good.
Of course. Please let me know if there's anything I can help you with. I feel terrible about playing the note so low that, well, you dropped into your pants. Dreadfully sorry. It wasn't intentional.
Yes, it's. I was going to say it's very unlike you to misstrike a note, Silas.
I was having an off day. You heard these people not responding to my song about the beehole. Very upsetting.
Oh, that is fair. That is fair. But that's quite all right. Regardless of whether or not that was intentional, I can appreciate a good razzing every now and then.
Oh.
I'm sure you can. Well, I'm going to continue my breakfast. Please enjoy yours.
Oh, I shall.
And throughout that time, you guys are all served your breakfast, and 2 plates in front of Carcass as everyone else gets their single orders and special made orders. And, everything tastes pretty good. Seems pretty decent. But otherwise, it's a pretty uneventful time in the mead hall. It doesn't seem like there's too many signs of outrage coming in from outside, and unfortunately, because you can't hear anything from outside. You can't see out the window as it's been just covered in snow.
Lek goes over to Lysander. Say, Lysander, would you be interested in accompanying me to the library? I have a couple things I want to talk to Olivessa about, and one of them does certainly include our deity problem.
Very well then. I agree to go.
Excellent. Let us be on our way.
I'm sure you'd find Olivessa at the library.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are you looking for Olivessa or Malia?
Oh, silly me. I meant Malia, of course. If I see Olivessa there, she's a good talk as well. But yes, Malia, of course. Oh,
Yes, get me
in the end. Yes.
I knew who you were talking about.
Lysander was
I knew-
picking up what you were putting down.
Right.
But thanks for catching my mistake, Silas. Always a pleasure.
I'm nothing if not consistent.
Indubitably.
What is the rest of the party going to do while this tandem head to the library? Are you guys staying put, or do you have other business to attend to?
Well, are we heading out of here soon, or are we staying another day? And he's gonna ask everyone.
Last I knew, we were leaving the day after today, which I suppose would be tomorrow from some point of views.
Yeah, sure.
That's what all of us have said.
I'm prepared to leave whenever anyone else is. I think I've tapped this town out of all the coin I can earn in tips.
You're shit! As you hear one of the townsfolk taking their coffee, you recognize him from yesterday. He was pretty much poo-pooing on your performances all day. Even when it seemed to get better overall towards the end, this individual was just not having it.
Oh, well, you are very much welcome to your wrong opinion.
My opinion's never wrong. Can't have a wrong opinion, it's my opinion.
I assure you, you can have a wrong opinion, and you, my friend, happen to have one.
We can agree to disagree, but my opinion is still valid, just like everyone else's.
Absolutely not. Your opinion is absolute dog shit. I'm sorry.
Well, that's your opinion, isn't it?
No, that's law, sir. That's law.
Show me the code. What code of law says that my opinion is shit?
Andy just starts smirking as she.
I would like to pull out my scroll of pedigree and show it to him and just be like, this one, where it states very clearly that I am superior to you in every conceivable way, peasant.
I don't even know where Camir is.
You'll know soon enough, I'm sure.
Oh, what, are you gonna conquest this Icelandish hellhole that we call ourselves in?
Why would I waste time and resources driving out into the middle of the snow and ice to conquer a bunch of turkey fuckers? Absolutely not.
Eclipse's jaw is just gonna kind of hang open for a minute.
Andy's gonna just kind of put her head in her hands.
Well, despite what you said about us, that kind of proves my point, that your law is not gonna come up here. So, my opinion is valid.
I could buy and sell you, old man.
Silas.
Let's not sell people, okay?
But buying them is okay?
Please don't buy people either.
Good sir, how much for your teeth?
No!
I'm sorry? I'm quite attached.
Your teeth. Say I wanted to buy them. How many silver do you think it's worth?
Well, I guess I'd trade one for about 25 gold, because this is the moneymaker. As he motions around to his face, and he's not a very attractive man. He's obviously saying this in jest.
Is Lex still at this point?
Yeah, you guys haven't left yet.
I cast prestidigitation on the man's mouth to make him feel like his teeth are gone.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna go into a different direction with it and give him like handsome Squidward vibes. But anyway, so as he formulates the last word of his previous sentence, it kind of feels like, hey, what happened to your teeth? Ah!
That
Like I
was very
said.
much uncalled for.
But his teeth is very much there.
Your teeth are right there.
I can't feel them.
It appears he's lost his mind. Perhaps I should just prove him wrong with a better performance, or maybe I should take a different action. And I'd like to just glare deep into the man's eyes and
I think
offer
you
just
might
a
go the
very
performance
wicked
angle.
smirk.
All right.
I cast minor illusion and cause a dark black cloud to go over the guy's face so we can't see anything.
Andy's gonna look at Luck and say, "You're a shit stirrer, aren't you, Luck?"
What? Me? Adriana. Just having a bit of fun. I take down the little black cloud.
And the man, obviously very confused at this point, like, okay, all right, I'll just leave you be. Just leave me and my teeth out of this. Thank you, menacing tiefling you.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. No, you've actually wounded my character.
Come on now. Sticks and stones may break my bones. Words will never hurt me. Have you ever heard that? Surely you have.
I have, but I've also heard the second part of the phrase.
Uh-oh. What's that?
Silas, why don't you just play again?
Sonnets and songs do make great bonds, but hurl them at the wrong and you'll lose your tongue. It doesn't quite rhyme as well, but quite frankly, your sticks and stones and your words, they've wounded my character. So, since you're not willing to part with teeth, and I can't imagine you're willing to part with your tongue, despite how easily I could take it from you, I'll settle on your purse. 5 gold would be enough to earn my forgiveness.
Well, I'm sorry that I've offended you, Snowflake, but I don't even have 5 gold to give you.
Then I'll take what you have, and I'd like to use my words of terror on him.
All right. Yeah, what does that do?
He makes a wisdom saving throw, DC of 15, and if he fails, he becomes frightened of me.
Oh yeah, he's frightened. He is extremely frightened of you at this point.
Whatever
Silence.
coin you have belongs to me now. Are
Silas.
we perfectly clear, peasant?
You cannot treat people like that.
Adriana, kindly, until you learn to use your position for your own gain, stay out of this.
Absolutely not. This is not how the reputation that the rest of us would like to build for ourselves.
I wasn't aware I was affecting your reputation. I'm here
You're traveling
making
with
sure
us.
mine remains as it should. I am
You're
above
traveling with
this
us.
man.
So you are impacting our reputation, and this is not how we conduct ourselves. Do not take his money.
Your
I step
coin.
forward to say, Andy.
Tin Man, this also has nothing to do with you. Your coin, peasant, now!
I turn to the man. Leave, please. Keep your money.
So what we'll have here is, Lysander, you'll make a persuasion check, and then it will be contested by Silas's persuasion check, who is at advantage because he has the individual frightened.
Yeah, that's a 2.
19.
Yeah, so this individual, he looks at Lysander quickly, and then he can't seem to break eye contact from Silas for very long for fear of what he might do next, and he quickly reaches down into his waistcoat and pulls out a small sack of coins. You hear them clattering onto the table, and he says, "There you go. Just leave me alone, and I'm sorry I've offended you with my opinion. I will take my leave now. I'm very sorry."
I'm gonna slam my hand down on that bag of coins before Silas can touch it.
Okay. Lysander slams his hand down on top of the coins, and I assume you're looking directly at Silas?
Yep.
Oh my, Tin Man, did I strike a nerve with you? You don't have nerves.
You have no idea what I've got. I'm gonna take the money and follow the man outside.
All right. And you guys.
Can I try and slide a band-aid off of him?
Let's see. Yeah, you would go ahead and do that against his passive perception.
Ah, that's a 5. Alright.
Unable to, Silas quickly tries to snatch the bag from your hand, Lysander, as you turn to make your way outside, and you feel a slight tug on the bag before you pull it back to your chest.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold it close. Say, do not touch me. Do not follow me. Stay the hell away from me right now. I don't abide bully.
Oh, and what are you going to do to me, Tin Man?
I'm leaving. I'm not even going to oblige anything that he has to say.
My. What a worthless little wretch.
Lek's going to head to the library by himself.
Well,
I'll meet you.
Lysander is headed outside as well. So as you exit Lek, the man who has been frightened by Silas follows you, and behind him is Lysander. And Lysander, the man stops outside and he looks to you and he says, "That man is just dreadful."
Yeah, he's not easy to get along with. I'm gonna hand him his money back and say, take this, go home. Keep your money.
And the man looks to you and says, "Thank you, sir. I did need this, so it's very well appreciated.
Of course.
I hope he doesn't come after me. That man just scares me."
Yeah, that's why I would suggest to just go home and stay there for a little while.
Will do. And he scurries off into the direction of his home uptown a little bit. So, I assume at this point you continue outside with Lek heading towards the library?
Yep.
Alright. And what of the rest of you in the tavern? What are your plans for the morning?
Oh, I would like to have a very, very intense conversation with Adriana.
Alright, we can go ahead and hash that out while they're traveling to the library.
Adriana, a moment of your time, please.
Yes, Silas.
Oh, when I came aboard, you paid me for my services. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Nowhere in our contract did I abide that I would allow you to be a babysitter, as it were. This man insulted me, so I handled him the way I would in Cormier. More generously, honestly, if I can be frank with you.
Well, that's funny. In our contract, I never agreed to paying you funds for making a bad call in combat, but here we are. So I'd say we're even.
What bad call in combat? The one where you went swinging at that thing, or more of tried not to because you thought it was friendly?
Yes.
Yes, that was absolutely your fault. And
Yes.
I took it out.
And we never had a contract saying I needed to pay you for such things. So I'd say we're even.
I figured you would recognize your superior.
You're not my superior.
You have so very much to learn, Adriana. I don't understand why you waste your time with these people.
I don't understand why you see anyone below your station as less than a person.
Look at me, Adriana, and look at you. By birthright, the blood that pumps through our veins makes us better than these people.
I don't agree with that.
You're just fortunate you weren't cursed with such deformities, or having such pride in yourself. I admire you, to be honest, Adriana. You could go far with the right teacher.
I'll never swindle people for money.
And that's where you and I differ, because I have to work 10 times harder to keep my position, because everyone will always look down upon me for what I am. And you, blessed to be human. Oh, it is wonderful to look upon you, but I pity you.
Silas, you could go a lot further with people by being kind to them, rather than cruel.
Their kindness has never been offered to me, so I will not offer it to them. I am sorry. But until I am given the respect that I deserve, these people mean nothing to me. I made the proper call for their lives, and they do not care. They are a waste. They are a blight.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Cormia could take this entire 10 towns in a day. Understand this, Adriana. They are nothing beneath my boot. But here I am, trying to help them, and they spit in my face. I will not tolerate insults like that again.
Silas, not everyone's going to like what you do. Not everyone likes what I do. But it's not worth your time or effort.
You have no idea what my time and effort is worth, Adriana.
Apparently 5 gold.
At least, yes.
So perhaps don't harass people who can't pay.
Absolutely not. That's more of the fun. Well, your words have wounded me as well, but I will elect not to take it out on you today. Perhaps you're right. Perhaps I could stand to be a little kinder. And Silas will give just a very, very wide smile that looks entirely fake.
Andy just gives him a side glance and then nods a little. Mm-hmm.
Bit of advice, though. I think we might want to look into a leash for the big man over there.
We're not
Vega's
putting
ears kind of perk up.
Not you, Vega. You're an absolute delight. And I'll pet Vega on the trunk. I worry what might happen if we aren't useful to Carcass any longer. That's all.
Oh, I think he's fine.
For your sake, I hope you're right. Well, back to my breakfast. And I'll just continue eating.
All right. And during this time, Lysander and Lek have made it to the library. So you guys approach the library, and first thing to note is that the blizzard is actually no longer blizzarding as you come outside. The winds have died down quite a bit. Snow is still falling, trickling down, but the cutting winds are no longer blowing the snow across and creating this obscuring of vision, and you can see plainly at your normal daytime sight. So you make it into the library in a shorter amount of time than you originally thought. But once you arrive, you see that the door is unlocked, and you make your way in, and you see Malia sitting inside, having her morning tea and reading a book. And she sees you enter and says, "Ah, good morning. I didn't think I would see you again. So soon."
Well, it turns out we have an extra day in town before we depart, and like I mentioned last time we spoke, I wanted to find out more about mind flayers, and then there was another item I wanted to talk to you about. So let me ask you this, Malia. Would I have better luck reading some books on my own here in the library today on mind flayers, or do you have all the knowledge that I might require regarding this particular subject that we could just talk about it?
Well, I can tell you that mind flayers are a very tough enemy if that's what you're asking about, or I don't know if you're looking for where they came from or anything like that, but I can tell you they're very formidable and very, very hard to get through the masses of people that they control.
Yes, for me, I'd like to know more tactical things. Weaknesses and exactly how their mind control works. As like I mentioned last time we spoke, I have a very strong feeling we're going to be dealing with them in the future, and I'd rather be as prepared as possible, because I already figured their power just in our encounter in Dugan's Hole.
Well, I can save you some time. Any tomes that would be depicting these mind flayers and the source of their power and stuff like that, those kind of tomes rest with the Arcane Brotherhood or any sort of prestigious mage organization that may have arisen in the last 50 years. That's not exactly the sort of thing that we carry here. But I imagine they're casters, magic folk, and I imagine they're not very good in hand-to-hand combat, but the trick is going to be getting up close to them. And from what I understand, they have the ability to teleport. But, yeah, it's very, very hard to get close to them, from what I understand, anyway.
I see. I'll bear that in mind and keep my ears and eyes open for more information, but I do appreciate the tips. But then actually there was one thing in particular that I wanted to talk to you about, which is why I brought Lysander here with me. So, Malia, you recall our conversation the other week about deities, right?
Oh, yeah, I do. It was just 3 or 4 days ago.
Right. Oh, time is a funny thing, I like to say. Anyway,
Like it was 3 weeks ago.
it does.
So weird how that happens.
So, Malia, one of the main reasons that people are fearful and desire to sacrifice to Oral is because of her abilities to control the weather, make it winter, and all of that. Well, I made a bit of a discovery during our time in Dugan's Hole that, well, I wanted to run by you because I found it to be interesting, although it's a little embarrassing too.
Oh, and what is that?
Well, we tracked. Really, we were led by some winter wolves to a giant's cave, and Well, a lot happened there, but the main thing is we stumbled upon this throne with a giant rune that simply said ice. And, well, you know, I'm a curious type, especially when it comes to magical things. So
Mhm.
while I had some downtime and other people were trying to do other things, I hopped up on the throne and I sat down and, well, per Zizix, you know, this blizzard we've been having for several days now. Well,
Yes.
it turns out that the blizzard happened because I sat on the throne and my personal inner power was, I think, essentially thrown up into the air and became a blizzard. So this blizzard was not oral, this was completely me.
I see.
So, well, it's regrettable that I caused such a huge, massive, greatly endured blizzard. It does make me wonder if we're being led astray regarding the extent of Oral's power, and that she might not be as powerful as we think she is.
And she leans back in her chair, and she reflects back on what you've said. And she thinks, that seems interesting that you were able to cause all of this, and you said it was giant magic?
It was the rune was in giant, and it was certainly a giant's throne, as I had to use my considerable ups to get onto it.
I assume this is a throne of a frost giant, then.
Yes, it was a frost giant's throne.
And she thinks back and says, from what I understand, frost giants and old giant magic is quite formidable itself, as they are literal gods, and from what we spoke of the other day, we kind of ascertained that Oral was beginning to ascend to godhood as a demigod, correct? It would make sense that the old magic of these giant gods would be a bit more powerful than what Oral can construe at the moment. But that's not to say that things could not get worse before they get better.
True. But could we not use this information to make people, I suppose, not be as fearful of her, but to create doubt as to the true extent of her power, perhaps?
Yes, as long as whispers are floating about, it very well could diminish her impact on the minds of the community here and the communities surrounding.
Well, as always, this would be a very delicate matter. If you were to say that someone or something caused this blizzard, I think it would be met with a lot of doubt. But if you were to go out and say, I caused this blizzard, and provide a first-hand account of what happened, I feel like the populace of that town would string you up, essentially, and think that they've helped themselves fight this everlasting winter. This is an interesting take, but I think you should be careful with it.
Oh, yes. Trust me, I have all the trust in you, Malia, but I'm afraid many of the denizens here, well, I'm not saying they are stupid or foolish. They tend to jump to conclusions quickly, especially when it comes to this particular subject. So yes, no, that certainly was not my intention. I was more thinking along the lines of a more plausible story, such as when we arrived into the Frost Giant's cave, he, which he probably very well actually could do this, was sitting on the throne. And we saw the magic disperse, we fought the Frost Giant, and then after investigating, we realized what he had done. And perhaps a story like that we could verify most of it is actually true, would have a lot more weight than other things we could make up.
And she puts her chin inside of her hand and starts thinking on this and says, "That's interesting. That could have an effect, possibly. But let's not forget that Oral does have followers, and even trying to discredit what Oral has done. I believe there was someone who was murdering people who evaded Oral's wrath, from what I understand. People like that could spring up and try to assassinate anyone that dared try to, what's the word I'm looking for? Undermine the power of Oral. But I think that is an interesting idea, Lek and Lysander.
Another angle that you might be able to play up here would be that she's taking credit of her own abilities with the abilities of this rune.
Yeah, you could do that. Good.
If we were to bring the rune here and prove it.
Oh, haha, right. I forgot to tell you this, Lysander. So following my use of the throne, we were trying to stop the blizzard because you guys were out there. We were worried about you, and initially we tried to get the rune out of the throne, and Zizix worked very hard at it, but we just didn't have the resources at the time. So yeah, I obliterated that throne. I smashed it to pieces. Hindsight's 2020.
Oh.
Oh no.
But a thought does cross my mind. We're about to head to Bryn Shander, and obviously that will be a good time to get a pulse on the surrounding communities. But I think things of this nature could be spread very subtly. Like, for example, if one was to disguise themselves as somebody else, go to the local taverns in each town they stop in, and just share this encounter that they had with this particular frost giant on the throne, or the other story that you proposed, Lysander, with perhaps the throne is what Oral's using for her power, and just spread it like that. Who knows? Maybe we could take a chink out of old Oral's ascension. Just a thought, something small that we can do now.
I think that that is a good idea, and we might as well use it since we're on the way. Might as well start spreading rumors, which falls in line with our original idea, just going in a little bit more of an informed direction about it. And
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
That's all I had to say. What do you think, Leah?
Malia says yes. It does fall in line with what we were describing just the other week or the other day. Just a little bit with more pointed information and not something that we had to make up on the fly. So
Yes, and less sex puns.
Well, in any
Yes.
case, Melissa, another thing, speaking of Bryn Shander, which is where we are headed, while we were in Dugan's Hole, we had spoken with a pair of twins that worshipped a sun god or a sun deity of sorts. And they told us of a cleric in Bryn Shander, a tiefling named Atramon. Do you know anything about this?
I don't know this individual personally, but I am familiar with the House of the Morning Lord in Bryn Shander. I know there are a few monks and clerics and like that worship him, or at least they did more fervently before Oral.
And can you tell me about the Morning Lord's powers or abilities?
Well, let's see. And she starts to get up and actually walk back towards the rows of books. And she says, let's see. Um, hmm. She says, this might be something. And she starts skimming through the book and... No, and... she says, this is, this particular deity is sort of a duality. There is the Morning Lord and the Mother of Night, hailing from a land of Barovia, these two.
Sorry, that was Morning Lord and what?
The Night Mother. They have this duality to them. One, like a yin and a yang, so to speak. As far as individual powers, the Morning Lord is the essence of life and light, which we have very little of at this day and age. She continues reading through the scroll, or through the book. I can't say that there's anything very specific here. She continues to scroll through, jumping from page to page. Just things that would be drawn to the Morning Lord would be things like, paladins and, very, very lawful geared individuals. Whereas this is like one of the hated deities of vampires and other things that like to live in the night, lycanthropy, for example. Lycanthropes, rather. I'm afraid that's all I can really find in this tome. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Well, I suppose I would be curious as to what the Morning Lord's powers would be. You said that he gives life and light. How would a deity like him feel that Oral is taking life and taking light, reducing people to this gray, wintry hellscape we all see before us?
Well, in that regard, perhaps I assume he would not look fondly on these actions of Oral, but until a champion of his that has earned his favor communicates with him and informs him of what has been ongoing and whether or not he deems it to be worth his time. I can't tell you if he has any specific powers, but he's a deity. It's power enough, I would assume.
That's what I needed to know. Thank you. This has been very educational.
Yes, always a pleasure, Malia.
Likewise, and she says, I will look further into this tome, and if I find anything pertinent for you, I will let you know.
Very good. I look forward to our next conversation as always. And I bow, a short bow, like a neck bow from the shoulders.
Like a nod.
Yeah, that's the one.
Special.
Oh,
In the meantime, start spreading information about this ice rune, this blizzard that we spoke of.
yes, I will convey that information to those who wander in, and those I might pass by and not seem forced, but just common, casual conversation.
Very good. Good day to you. Oh, one more thing.
Yes.
Do you know where someone might acquire a chain?
How big of a chain?
I'm looking at about 10 to 15 foot.
How thick, I guess, would be a better question. 10 to 15 foot of a chain that can hold a frigate to shore would be quite different than a 10 to 15 foot chain that can tie a horse to a stall.
Let's go with the latter.
You could find that at any general store. If you're headed to Bryn Shander, I'm sure you could find such a thing there. You might
Would there
have
be
luck
any-
here in town.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Something a little more local, if that was feasible.
You know, I would check in with the lumberjacks and see if they have anything available for use.
A novel idea, Malia. Thank you. I tip my hat to her. Turn to Lek. Shall we be on our way?
Let us depart. Farewell, Malia.
Take care, everyone.
You. And I would like to go and find these lumberjacks she speaks of, or a general store, or a stable, anywhere that I might be able to find a chain.
On the side of town that you are on, you know, the closest, since the blizzard is still just being rescinded, you know, markets may not exactly be open and expecting customers at the moment. But the lumberjacks, they would be out and about, you would think. So you'd head in that direction, thinking that's the best place to start. In the meantime, what's the rest of the party wanting to do still? Is anything arisen that you guys had come to mind that you wanted to do, or anything like that, before we continue on?
Andy will go fishing.
Okay.
Eclipse will perk up at this and request to join her as a sort of sense of redemption from last time.
Of course.
Would you mind terribly if I tagged along? It sounds absolutely peaceful.
Not at all,
As long
Silas.
as
You
I-
could probably use a day like that.
As long as I can rename the group Snowflakes Angels.
Absolutely not. I'm sorry. Silas's Angels just rolls off the tongue. You have to
Snowflakes
understand that.
Eh.
Come now, Eclipse. You're my favorite.
I am?
Oh boy.
Absolutely. Cats are revered in Cormier. You'd fit right in.
Well, thanks.
And you hear a knock at the door, and it's the man from earlier. He says, "You should be called Snowflakes Angels, because Silas is a snowflake," and shuts the door.
One moment, please. And Silas would like to pursue this man now.
Andy's gonna try and touch his arm.
Okay, first off, who gave you permission to touch me?
Silas.
Let's discuss
Silas.
this. Yes,
I
Adriana.
thought we were going fishing.
Yes, fishing. Yes.
Would you want our lovely cat friend to go unescorted?
No, I would not. Could I please make a counter argument, though?
Cat pouty
I
face.
suppose.
Tongues make excellent bait. I'm just saying.
We already can get bait. Come on, let's go. And she's gonna try and shuffle Silas along with Eclipse and get them to walk towards the nearest body of water.
Silas will begrudgingly go with and just be like, I like this, Adriana. You're much kinder when you smile.
It's just gonna twitch a little bit.
I'm trying not to react out of character. She's just gonna say, I guess.
Hold on, out of character. Did I struck a nerve? Have you been told you should smile more? What?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that never happens to women.
Never.
Never.
Anyway, yeah, okay. Silas the dickhead will go fishing.
Yoicks.
So, you guys start to make your way just outside of town, heading back to that river area to try to see if you can get some fishing in. But in the meantime, then, what about Zizek's carcass? What are you guys doing?
So, was the party planning on being in this town for like a day or a night? Or...
Another day, yeah, is what it sounds like.
Okay, so then, Zizix, with the crappy day that he's had, is going to ask Caucus if he can help him with something. So Zizix will go up to Caucus. Carcass, do you think I could get your help with something?
Uh-oh.
I do believe Carcass is working with the AC people, so they're listening on the phone.
Right.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Carcass can help.
People this time.
Oh dear.
Did not notice that, so I apologize.
No, that's okay. I hadn't noticed it either. So basically, Zizix is going to ask Caucus for some assistance, as Zizix is going to have to rebuild a new version of Ollie.
All right, and I'm assuming Carcass is gonna want to help you out in that. I think that's fair to say that he would,
Yeah.
provided maybe a little persuasion.
Yeah, with the usual meat hunks. And then I'm probably also in that time span going to be looking at those potions that Terry the trader gave me.
Okay. All right. So for the potions, let's make a Arcana check. Ugh. Apologies for my sniffling. My allergies just seem to have kicked in today.
Oh, I feel that.
Ugh.
So 1 second, just to double check something. So I have a feat that says, well, it's a racial trait, I guess, or Artificer's Law, so add twice my proficiency bonus to history checks related to magic items, alchemical objects, or technological devices. Would a potion be in that?
I would say that is an alchemical object, yes. A product of alchemy. So you would add a +3 to your score. So ultimately a +10.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so I got a net 1, but with that, I got an 11.
Yep. All right. Which potion are you looking at?
Probably the blue one first off.
Blue one. All right. So this one seems kind of to elude you a little bit. It's hard to say exactly what this could be. But you get the feeling that it would be a more of a buff than a hindrance or a poison. You're not exactly sure what exactly it could be.
So with Terry's description, I could see being bamboozled by it, thinking that it could be some really mystical ancient magic. So
Mm-hmm.
all right. So then there's also the black one. So another Arcana check on that.
Yes.
There we go. That would be 22.
This one has a very oily consistency to it. The best you can tell with that roll is that, I mean, this essentially looks like WD-40 for people.
So basically a flask of oil.
It is magical. So it is magical oil. So it's not as mundane as just oil.
Would I understand any of the properties behind it, or is it one of those I gotta use it to understand it?
With that roll, you would bet that if you were in a bind or being restrained, you'd probably have a better shot at escaping the grasp of whatever was trying to grab you. It's with your knowledge of magic, you would think that perhaps this would be akin to a grease spell.
So I can be one greasy motherfucker. All right.
Greasy as a pig.
All I'm hearing is bubbles. Greasy. Okay. And then I guess the last one is the green, the vial with green.
All right, go ahead and make that one.
So that would be a 14.
So this green liquid, it's not as thick and oily as the black one, but it's got some milkiness to it. This definitely looks consistent with a poison, but with that roll, you're not exactly sure how this poison would affect the subject.
Gotcha. Okay. With that. And then, I mean, technically, to make my homunculus, it doesn't have a time frame or anything like that, so I think it's essentially instant. But I'm putting a lot more effort into this one, so it probably would take Zizix the remaining time to create this.
Okay.
Or at least until, the next morning.
Sure. All right, sounds good. and Carcass is going to assist you in that endeavor best he can.
Yeah.
All right, and then that means we will go ahead and head out with Lek and Lysander in pursuit of a chain. So you guys make your way out to the lumber yard, and you see a few people actually out there kind of looking around at the weather and talking to each other over by their little lumber yard. And they see you approach, and they say, "Morning. How are you guys today?"
Good morning, gentlemen. Doing quite well. How about yourselves?
Oh, it looks like we can get some work done today. Trying to pick the easy ones first and see if any of this wind has done some work for us.
Yeah, sounds like the smart way to go. And yes, you're right. Finally glad to have this blizzard abate us. I say as I give Lek a sidelong glance.
Yeah, Oral really did us in with that one.
Right. Sorry.
Stop laughing at her name.
No, it was not that.
Oh, okay.
Fucked us up real good.
In any case, what's your name, friend?
You can call me Lex.
Lex. How about that?
How
I'd
about
like to meet my friend Lek here. The singular of your name.
But together
Indeed.
we are me. Think about that.
Whoa, sir, that's most profound. Or you could say you're the X-rated version of me.
That's true. We could be. I could be.
I do enjoy some good kink, but that's not why we're here, good sir.
Oddly enough, I like to live a nice, wholesome lifestyle. Thank you, Lek.
Well, I'm very happy for you, friend. You keep on doing that. We need more wholesome people in the world.
Wholesome people indeed.
I was wondering, Lex, I am in need of a chain. A chain strong enough that could possibly tether a horse to a wagon, 10, 15 foot long, what I'm looking for. Do you know where I might acquire one?
Or Django.
For he would be unchained.
That's the one.
Oh.
Let me just go ahead and ask, hey, Cal, do you got some spare chain? And Cal steps up and he says, yeah, we have some chain. I could break that. And starts to make his way around, and he said, you said 10 to 15 feet, which is it?
Let's do 15.
Things are really changing around here.
And Lex looks to you and he says, that's Cal Easy. He's a real good lumberjack. He's pretty new, but he likes working those chains, that Cal Easy. And I got a snort. That's all I wanted.
Oh.
There he is.
And in short order, you hear some snapping, just metal just being ripped. And Cal comes back around the corner and he says, all right, I got a 15-foot of chain here for you. Say, 2 gold, and we can let this go for you.
I think that's entirely reasonable. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, no problem. You ever need some chain broken, come find Cal Easy.
I won't forget that. Thank you much, friend.
You should meet my kids. Or my kid. His name's Braggin. Father of bragging.
How delightful.
Maybe someday.
Perhaps. They fly around everywhere. Or he flies around everywhere these days. Just can't keep him contained. Pyromaniac, that one. Gotta keep my eye on him. It's kind of funny that a lumberjack's son would be a pyromaniac.
There is a certain amount of irony in that, for sure.
Well, I deal in lumber, not iron.
Of course. Forgive my foolishness.
Ah, 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 ah.
Right. Anyways, thank you, good sirs. You for your link and you for your kink, and off we go.
Wholesome, thank you, Lex.
Of course, Lex.
Well, we will leave you gentlemen to it. Good luck with the trees today.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna start looking now once, Cal, you gotta fix the chain that you broke. Well, that's not in my job description. I'm the breaker of chains. And this conversation continues as you guys start to walk away.
Start screaming.
Well, that was...
Very unique individuals. You know, some days I think I'm a unique person, then I meet people like that.
Yes, this town's just full of characters.
Indeed. Well, I guess we'll head back to the mead hall.
Yep, I suppose so.
Alright.
Okay.
We'll leave with my toe.
And then, with that, we will go over to Eclipse and Andy and Silas, who have made their way out to their previous fishing spot, but have found that the river has completely frozen over from this blizzard.
Well,
Sorry.
Adriana, do you believe you could break this ice?
I could try. She pulls out her warhammer.
I was going to
I
have
believe in
you
you.
roll performance to tell your best cold joke. Break the ice.
I mean,
Anyways.
I have one that's not necessarily a cold joke. It's actually quite raunchy.
Well, just an opening joke. It's an icebreaker, if you will.
Ugh!
Oh, I will.
Love it.
So do you need a strength check from me?
Yes.
I'll grant her inspiration if that's all right. So you
Absolutely.
can add a d6.
A d6, you said?
Yes.
For some reason, it's not doing the dice rolls.
On D&D Beyond,
Yeah, let me refresh it. Okay, there we go.
sometimes it be like that. I know if I click on a dice roll and then I'll tab out to another page, it doesn't roll until I go back, which is
Okay,
an odd
so-
thing.
I got a 4 plus 2, so 6, and then I rolled a 6 on the d6, so 12.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your Warhammer damage.
Oh, oops, I rolled the attack. Hold on. Okay, 5 damage.
5 damage, very good. So with your first swing, you crack down into the ice, and you start to see some cracks standing around. And are you standing in the river, or are you on the shore trying to break the ice?
I don't think I'd stand in the river and hit the ice. That would not be intelligent.
Okay. So go ahead and you see that you're making progress. So you can go ahead and try again if you'd like. Just roll your normal attack, I would say.
Okay. That's a 17.
And roll your damage.
That's a 10 damage this time.
Yeah, and standing on the shoreline, you crack through the ice and you move your warhammer around a little bit to make the hole a little bit bigger, and you have about a 1.5 foot diameter size hole on the shoreline. It's not very deep at all.
I might cast a guiding bolt deeper in.
Okay. Let's see. Is that a dex save or is that an attack roll?
It's an attack roll.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack.
That's a 22.
Roll your damage.
19 damage.
And then your guiding bolt just eviscerates the top layer of ice and just blows a 5-foot hole into the middle of this river that's still surrounded by ice. What would you like to do now?
I'm gonna cast my line.
All right. Go ahead and give me a survival check.
That's a 16.
Okay, Eclipse, are you fishing as well? And Silas, are you fishing as well?
I would love to fish, but how do you bait this hook?
Here, I'll do it for you.
Thank you, Adriana. I'm enjoying this kindness from you today.
I'm always kind, I just don't always smile.
Well, the smiling certainly helps.
I'll remember that, Silas.
Whatever makes you feel better.
All right. So, Eclipse, what was your survival check?
It was a 4.
It was a 4. All right. And Silas, go ahead and make one yourself.
A dirty 20.
Okay. So you guys bait the hooks and you cast out into this 5-foot hole in the middle of the river. And Andy, you actually get a strike. And at the same time, Silas does as well. Go ahead and make a strength check. See if you can reel this
15.
thing in. 15.
I got a 16.
I had a 16, but it's -1, so yeah.
All right. With that, both of you are able to land 2 knucklehead trout. They look to be about 4 pounds each. Silas, if you can roll a D100, and Andy, if you could roll a D100. Clips, unfortunately, nothing has bitten your hook.
I got a 66.
49.
Okay. Very good. You both have a very good-sized knucklehead trout there. That's the result of the first hour of fishing. Would you guys like to fish again?
Yes.
Eclipse is determined to catch a fish.
Just one, please.
All right. Go ahead and make new survival checks for this next hour.
Got a 13.
13.
18.
All right.
I got an 8.
Silas, you get another bite on your hook. Make a strength check to see if you can, or athletics check rather, to see if you can pull it in.
$12.
Unfortunately, as you start to pull back on the rod and try to reel it in, you see that the line is actually scraping directly against the hole as you guys are fishing from shore, and your line gets cut, and the fish gets away.
Well, that's not fair. I demand that fish come back.
You can talk to fish.
Let me check. No, but I can be friends with them.
Hmm.
I would assume
Well,
you need to
Fishing
be
isn't always
able to
fair,
talk to
Silas.
them.
We'll get you another one, and she'll put another hook on his line.
What'd you say, Matt?
I assume you would have to be able to talk to the fish to befriend it, right?
No, not necessarily.
I can just convince a beast that I mean it no harm.
So no
Thank
fish
you.
for anybody for that last hour.
Thank you for the hook, Adriana. I appreciate that. Eclipse, how are you doing?
Bad. Terrible.
Well, keep trying. I believe in you, and I'll give Eclipse some inspiration. They clearly need it.
All right, so for any roll in the next, how is it, like 30 minutes or an hour for Bardic Inspiration, or is it 8?
I believe it's an hour.
Okay. You can use that for any roll in the next hour, all right?
Nope, I'm wrong. 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
Oh, God.
Which is still going to be within the next hour. So, yeah, you're fine. You'll be able to apply that to your either your survival check or the strength check if you have a fish coming in, but you have to make that decision to use it. Well, you can add it, right? So you can see the result of your die and then add to it. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
So
Before they know if it's a success or a failure.
correct. All right. So for the third hour, I would like everyone to make their survival checks.
Only an 11.
Got a 12.
But you can choose to add that d6 if you want.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes it 18.
Okay. Andy?
I got a 19.
All right. So both Eclipse and Andy get hooked on to a fish, and you feel it pulling and fighting. Go ahead and make an athletics check, the both of you.
I got a 23.
Got a 6.
Okay. So Andy, you're able to reel in your fish and you pull it up, and that is another 4-pound knucklehead trout. Go ahead and give me a D100 roll.
Okay, that is 57.
Okay, very good. Eclipse. You actually feel yourself being quickly pulled into the river. You start skating along the ice, just being manhandled by this fish. I need you to make a dexterity save.
It's a 14.
And you're able to manipulate the rod in such a way to counter your balance and you don't fall prone. But much like Silas's fish before, the line kind of snaps against grazing on the edge of ice in this hole that's quite abrasive. And the fish gets away.
See that one coming.
As a
Can I-
fisherman, I'm really upset to hear about that.
Can I try to intimidate the fish?
You can certainly try.
Silas would like
Only
to
if
just
they
look
have
into the crack
gold.
and just be like, now listen here. This fine young cat is trying their best. You are making an absolute fool of them, and if you do it again, I will catch every last one of you.
No roll needed. But with that, at the 4th hour, would you guys like to continue fishing as the sun is beginning to set?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
One more round of daytime fishing. So go ahead and roll those survival checks.
I got a 12.
7.
That's a
It's lucky
9.
number.
Well,
Do we get
unfortunately,
advantage because the fish are convinced?
they are not convinced.
Oh,
I tried.
You did try. It was a valiant effort. However, this next hour, as the sun starts to fade over the horizon, a lot of nothing going on. No bites, no activity whatsoever.
This is actually rather pleasant. I'm going to be honest.
I find it calming.
I haven't had a
Sure.
moment. I haven't had a moment to sit since I came here.
Well, I'm glad you came with us, Silas.
But would you guys like to try night fishing?
Would you like to reel one more out, or shall we head back to meet with the others?
I'm always down for one more.
yeah.
Do you need a little bit more belief, Eclipse?
Based on my track record, I suppose so.
I believe in you, and Adriana, I actually believe in you as well. I'll give them both inspiration.
All right. With that, I will take your survival checks.
I got a 22.
22.
It's a no from me, dog.
I got a 13, but I added that d6, so it's a 16 now.
All right. So Andy and Eclipse both get bites. You've set the hook, and now you have to reel the fish in. So I would like an athletics check from both of you.
Can I give Eclipse one more inspiration?
Sure. It would come out right as you see that she's set the hook.
Yep.
I got an 18.
Got an 11.
You can add a d6.
D.
13. All right, Andy, you reel in another knucklehead trout. This one's about in the 3-pound range. Roll a d100 for that. And Eclipse, you get the inspiring words of essentially a cheerleader section cheering you on as you try to reel in this fish. But unfortunately, it actually straight up breaks the line and swims away. This ice is really doing you no favors here.
I got a 91 on the percentile.
Okay. Very good. So that's a total of what, 4 fish that you guys have brought back, or is that 5?
I think it's 5. I think
Yeah,
I
5.
got 3.
Yeah, Eclipse caught quite a few, so we should count those.
You know what? Shit pants.
So,
Andy says, "Don't worry, Eclipse. I'll give you a couple of mine once I clean them."
Silas was actually going to offer Eclipse his only fish that he's caught.
Oh,
People would believe you caught it easier than they would believe I caught it. It's alright.
that's fair.
Well, would you like me to clean them all?
Absolutely, please. I can't get dirty.
Okay. And Andy will clean all of the fish.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a survival check.
Well, I got an 8, but I'm gonna roll my inspiration die since I haven't yet.
Yeah, I'm out of inspiration, so if you lose a finger, that's not on me anymore.
All right, so that's
toe.
12 total.
12 total. All right. So of the total of, let's see, 5 fish, about 4 pounds each, 20 pounds. You're able to rake in about 10 pounds of fillets out of your haul. And then in one
Nice.
particular fish, you come across something interesting. There looks to be some sort of cylindrical item that a fish happened to have swallowed.
Dibs.
Absolutely not. Adriana's gonna pull it out.
All right. So it's kind of covered in like this slime and innards of all the other things that the fish has eaten, and you kind of clear it off, and it's a hard little. It's probably about 4 or 5 inches wide and maybe an inch around. Not exactly sure what it is just by first glance.
Oh no, it's my prom date.
Wait, 4 or 5 inches wide?
Yeah, it's a cylindrical little tube thing.
Odd. Okay. Hmm.
Can we open
She's
the
gonna
tube?
kind of clean it off.
All right, go ahead and roll an investigation.
Natural 20.
Very
So
nice.
23 total.
As you start to clean off this cylinder, you see that it has etchings into this little cylinder. It looks like that there's essentially like drawings of people, and there's one person facing a crowd, and you see a few people on their backs with smiling faces, and that pattern seems to repeat throughout the whole cylinder.
Interesting.
Again, I did call dibs.
Whose fish was it in?
It was in one of yours.
Nah, my fish, my dibs.
Very well. I suppose not my war.
And
Hmm.
Andy's gonna probably take it back to have it examined. See if it's
Alright.
magical.
Very good. So you guys start to head back?
Yeah. Andy will give Eclipse half of the fillets.
Sick.
A wonderful catch, Eclipse. You did magnificently.
Thank you.
All right.
And Adriana, good job.
Yeah, thanks. You too.
No, I don't know what you mean. I didn't catch a thing.
Andy winks at him.
So, with that, you guys depart from the river that was nearby and make your way back towards the tavern, where you find everyone but Zizix and Carcass. I believe you guys went back into your rooms to go working on things. But you enter and you see everyone else sitting around a table and passing time. What are you guys doing as they come into the tavern?
Oh no, did it happen? Did Carcass eat Zizix?
Are we back at the tavern, Lek and I?
Yeah, sometime like you guys got back and the others didn't get back for another 3 hours or so.
Oh, damn.
Oh, well. In that time, then, I would have liked to have talked to Zizix, but we can... that's okay. I
Okay.
can say that for later.
That's
That's
fine.
cool. It's all good. We'll continue on. We'll just wait for that to come in.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Table time.
Yeah, the bartender was very accommodating with that.
The bartender's in there with me.
Canoodling, no doubt.
Actually, we're exchanging muffin recipes.
Pastries?
Pastries?
Yes!
That's what they call it.
That's what the kids are calling it nowadays. Jeez.
Oh god.
Oh no. Oh no.
Say
Have
less.
you heard like, the choir sheesh?
Yes.
It's glorious.
Oh, it's heavenly.
Somebody at work just told me what that is, and okay. I don't have TikTok, so that's how I know is through secondhand hearsay.
Jeez.
Nice to say, I'm already annoyed by it. God, moving on.
Oh man. So, as you guys are passing the time, Andy, Eclipse, and Silas all make their way back, and in hand they have knucklehead trout fillets in tow.
We got fish.
Yay!
Yeah, be excited.
Got a chain.
Yes, we are very proud of that. A lot of talking.
Yes, it sounds like we've all had a very productive day.
Yes, Adriana and Eclipse did excellent work on the ice fishing.
Good. Good.
That's a cute little house
Like-
you got there, like.
Like did a little bit of thaumaturgy there and was echoey.
Crickets.
Right. Yes, thank you. I'm practicing
For?
the apocalypse, of course.
Of course you would.
Oh, that's not scheduled until I take my throne, so I think you have some time.
Mm.
I'll be very good by then.
At least that's what my parents
you?
say.
That's awful of them.
I mean, they're probably right.
Do.
I wouldn't give people like that much credit.
Shit.
Did you put a toilet in that house, at least, Lek?
I was waiting for the right person.
You better not.
Better not. What? What do you think I mean by that, Eclipse?
Keep your pants to yourself.
I was planning on it.
Good.
Anyways, how much above table? How much of the day?
The sun has set at this point.
But that means there's still like a
Technically, like you have 20 hours until sunup.
okay.
It's about lunchtime.
All right. Well, anyone in the mood for some lunch?
I have a thought.
Do share.
Well, we could eat, obviously. I feel that's a good idea, but perhaps we could pass the time and get to know each other a little bit better. There's a game we used to play in Cormier. It's called Action or Honesty.
I love games.
It's quite simple. You sit in a circle, you choose one person from said circle, you ask them action or honesty. If they choose action, they have to do something that you command them to. If they say honesty, they must answer a question honestly.
Right.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fun game. I'm going to get a mead before we play.
Sounds like a smashing idea.
Stupendous.
And at this time, the bartender actually goes back and knocks on a door in the mead hall. And Zizix, you hear a knock on the door where you're working on your homunculus.
Zizix will yell out, "Come back another time. I'm busy."
I just wanted to say that your friends are here, and it sounds like they're about ready to play a game.
Well, I appreciate it, but I do not have time for games right now.
What about the other one?
Yes, we don't have time for the games right now.
All right, I just thought I would let you guys know. Good luck.
I really want to play some games.
Well, it won't be too much longer.
Okay.
What time of the day/night is it at this point?
So it's about 1 p.m. roughly.
Okay, it may be a little bit later.
So Carcass.
I will stay here with you. I know that we are doing the important works.
Oh, indeed. This is gonna be my best thing yet.
Yes, it looks very good so far.
It'll be the best.
I believe you.
And then we can play games.
Okay, I like to play the games.
If you want to go play the games, I can continue working, and you just come on back when you're done.
Okay, and I will get up and bolt out the door.
All right. And everyone inside of the tavern hears a door just slam open as Carcass erupts from one of the rooms. You see him barreling down the hallway into the main room.
Whoa, Carcass, you okay?
Yes, they told me I could come and play the games and stick.
Oh,
It
of
was
course.
for me to play.
Yes, join us.
Okay, do we have food?
I just caught some fish. I could give it to the innkeeper to cook.
Oh, that is okay. I'm very hungry. You can just give it to me.
And he gives him her 5 fillets.
All right.
I will just start eating them.
And you eat that raw knucklehead trout, and it tastes really good. It's really fresh.
Oh, thank you, and
You're welcome.
And I think this might be a good time to take a short break before we start playing Action or Honesty.
Well, now, who would like to start us off?
Maybe you should. Show us how it works.
Very well. Well, why don't we start off like this? Eclipse, darling, action or honesty?
Honesty.
Where are we from? Where are you from?
I am from a northern Tabaxi tribe, and I have recently settled in Goodmead.
Wonderful. Now it's your turn to ask that very same question. Not where are you from, but action or honesty. Yeah.
Ah, I see. Let's go with Flag. Action or honesty?
Action.
Okay.
Great.
The action I give you is to ask the barkeep to go into your fort with you for 7 minutes.
Black slowly scoots his chair back, turns and begins walking towards the bar. Then he stares into the barkeep's eyes and says, "Madam, we've had such a wonderful day together. I thought perhaps you'd like to join me in my apocalypse fort for a short time. I will show you my
Go on. Go on.
I will show you my collection of oddities."
Show her the Churlong, like.
Oh boy.
Bit early for that, Silas.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. $19.
And she looks to you and says, "Well, I kind of have to, tend to the customers and all of that, but perhaps later tonight."
Of course, a rain check it is then.
And she gives you a wink and says, I'm looking forward to it."
Me too. And Lek returns. Tries to think of how he can avoid actually doing this tonight.
We'll be making sure you actually go through with this. Just don't think you can get out of it.
The 7 minutes of her life.
Your turn.
Right. Let's see. Lysander. Honesty.
Let's go with action.
Okay. For your action, Lysander, I would like you to go outside, just outside the door there where we can see you. And I want you to take a snowball, and I want you to throw it in the air and try and hit yourself in the face.
Okay. I will go and do that.
All right. So you go up the stairs leading outside and gather a collection of snow, and you hurl it up into the air, and it falls directly onto your face. Not a hard task at all. You feel, the bit of cold that, snowball hits you in the face. You feel that sensation, but considering you don't have skin, you're not susceptible to frostbite and the like, so you've completed the task successfully.
I come in and brush the snow off my face and adjust my hat accordingly.
Nice shot. Nice shot.
Thank you. I'll turn to Andy and say, Andy, action or honesty?
Well, I'll go with honesty.
Honesty. I'm not good at these games.
That's why we took a break.
Admittedly.
Ooh, ask her who she has a crush on.
Sure. Who do you have a on, Andy?
Andy kind of raises her eyebrows at him and then says, no one at the moment.
Tickle your fancy.
Oh, can I roll insight? Can I roll insight?
I too would like to roll insight.
Sure, if you would like to make an insight check, go right ahead.
That's a 4. Yeah, no.
Yeah, you can't really get a good read on her answer. She could be lying. She could be telling the truth. It's ambiguous.
For me, this is my first time playing.
No need to ask forgiveness. We all start somewhere, Lysander.
I suppose that's true. Andy, I believe it is your turn then.
Andy kind of looks around and then she'll say, Carcass, action or honesty?
Yes, that carcass is me.
Would you like to answer a question or do something?
Oh, I always like to do things, but whatever you say.
Well, you have to pick. That's the game.
Oh, so there is no running or killing?
How about this? For your action, you can make haste around this building as fast as you can and come back.
Oh, I do like to make the haste, and I will bolt up and slam my way out of the door.
All right. Go ahead and give me an athletics check in difficult terrain. So that will be accounted for in the DC of the check.
That is a 24.
About 45 seconds passes with the door slamming behind Carcass. Are you making just one lap, or are you continuing to do multiple laps?
She said I could come back, so I'm going to stop at the door and smile, and I will keep running.
So Carcass is continuing to run laps at a very rapid pace outside. He stops and acknowledges that he's finished his first lap before continuing on in circles, and this goes on for another lap, and another lap, and another lap.
Andy looks over at Silas and says, I don't think he's coming back.
Perhaps you should just ask someone else then.
All right. Is Zizix still working?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Silas then. Action or honesty?
Honesty.
Do you dislike people so much because they were so cruel to you?
Oh,
Ooh.
I'm sure that's part of it, and the other part of it is that they're all below me. But I appreciate your question.
I appreciate your answer.
I appreciate your appreciation.
Shut up.
Lysander, action or honesty?
Honesty.
Wonderful. Do you think you could kill me?
I think it's entirely possible.
I suppose that's one way to not answer a question, but very well. It's your turn.
Silas,
Oh.
action or honesty?
Honesty, my friend.
Why do you want to know?
I simply want to know how far your cold, dead heart might go. That's all.
For what it's worth, I have no inkling or reason to kill you.
Nor I you. Lek,
Very
action
good.
or honesty?
Honesty.
Might I inquire, what's going on with your eye?
Well, I use it to see, and it's great for blinking whenever I get tears or salt in it. I suppose you mean the orb eye, though. Am I right?
Perhaps so, but that's on me for not asking properly. Your answer is sufficient.
Excellent. Eclipse.
I'm gonna go with honesty again.
Okay, Eclipse. Let's see. I would like to know. Let's see. Has there ever been a special someone, Eclipse? Yes, I know. I'm very juvenile with my questions.
Who do you have a crush on?
I mean, you know, as a child, you have your crushes and things like that, but recently, no.
Ah, I see. Well, there's a follow-up question there, but I guess that'll have to wait for somebody else. Anyways, your follow-up questions? Oh yes, I like to ask follow-up questions when I want more information.
I suppose you'll have to wait until it's your turn again. Right now, Eclipse's turn.
Indeed.
Silas, honesty or action?
I'll continue my path. Honesty.
Why do you respect me so much?
Cats are worthy of respect in Cormier. It's some kind of a customary thing, and I understand you're not technically a cat, you're tabaxi. It's a very different thing, but it's hard to unlearn what you've been taught in some instances. So there's a matter of respect for you.
Okay.
It isn't unearned, if that's what you're thinking, though. You've simply proven yourself over time, but you had the most respect of me upon our first meeting without having to do very much. To clarify.
Yeah, okay.
It's one of my favorites. Clarify.
I swear to God.
Adriana,
Yes.
action or honesty?
I'll go with honesty again.
Who amongst those here do you think would be the easiest for you to take out?
Well, not that I would, mind you,
Of course, it's only hypothetical.
but well, speaking from a battle standpoint, it would probably be either yourself or Lek, because if your spells did not fell me, my strength would fell you.
A wonderful answer. I'm sure with that hammer of yours you could easily cave in my sternum.
I won't, though, Silas.
Even better to know. Well, it's your turn.
Lek. Action or honesty?
Let's see. I'll go honesty.
Then I suppose I'll steal Silas's follow-up question. What is the purpose of your orb eye?
Oh, right. Good call. Oh, yeah. Good call. Right. So, yes, the orb eye. I think the simplest way to explain its function is, well, I'm a warlock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And it is traditional for warlocks to take a piece of their patron. And I chose my patron's lovely eye as to its purpose. It allows me to... It gives me certain insight into the magic, I suppose.
Interesting.
Yes. It can be useful. It's a bit fickle, though, I will admit that much. It's not like a perfect sight thing. Hard to explain, really.
Those things
It kind of
gods
chooses when to be helpful. Anyways. Let's see. I think I will ask Silas, action or honesty?
Honesty again. I seem to be quite popular today.
Indeed. Let's see. Silas, my question is, what do you base the amount of respect you give a person on?
That is a wonderful question. Truth be told, most of it's based on use. How useful are you in keeping me safe? How useful are you in aiding me? How useful are you to, I suppose, the world I have in mind?
A sensible answer. Pragmatism as much as the next person.
Yes, Lysander, action or honesty?
Honesty.
Does your inability to have found Terry the traitor eat at you?
It bothers me some. Not nearly as much as it probably bothers Zizix.
Yes, I imagine these handlings quite devastatingly. You should really alleviate yourself of that guilt, or relieve yourself of that guilt. It was a swindler and nothing more.
I can't argue with that. Eclipse, action or honesty?
I'm gonna go with action. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit.
The fuck? Quartz available. Quartz available.
Shut up.
Question, Sam.
Yeah.
What is immediately above us?
Immediately above you would be like a main beam to the mead hall that kind of supports the upper roof. This is a high ceiling area, so you have like that main beam that goes across the front of the room all the way back to towards the end. A few support beams branching out from the roof down to that main support going across the whole building.
Are they high enough or wide enough that someone could stand on them?
Oh yeah, they're about like 1.5 to 2 foot long. Wide, I should say.
Eclipse, I would like to see you scale the wall and walk across that beam. Show off your acrobatic skills.
Okay.
All right. How would you like to do this, Eclipse?
Well, considering he asked me to scale the wall, I'll try to climb up the nearest wall and leap off of that onto the beam, I suppose.
All right. So I believe tabaxis are able to scale walls pretty easily. So we'll just need an acrobatics check to get from one side to the middle.
Sorry, Nick was talking to me. What did you say?
Tabaxi are able to scale walls almost innately. So I just need an acrobatics check.
That is a nat 20, but being a 24.
Not only do you leap off the wall and make it to the main beam, you actually do a backflip combined with the corkscrew and land on one foot on middle of the main beam.
900.
Nice.
Tony hawked it.
Is this acrobatic enough for you?
That was very impressive.
And the rest of the tavern, seeing this, says, "Yeah!" and they start giving a round of applause.
Throw gold!
Please don't.
Make a persuasion check.
Don't throw things at me!
23.
And the tavern starts to hurl coins at Eclipse. Eclipse, give me a dexterity check.
Andy's gonna prep to catch her if she sees people throwing things at her.
Sure.
Silas is going to prep to catch the coins.
With that, Eclipse, you're able to stand on one foot and use your monkly abilities to be able to dodge all the coins coming your way, which just invigorates the crowd even more. And their cheers get louder, and more coins start to fly through the air that you were just evading each time.
That's...
I'd like to try to get some of the coins in my hat.
Sure.
I would like to take as many as I can in my pockets.
You better be giving those to me. That's my tip money.
You guys, surprisingly, catch a good bit of coin each individually. So there is a total of 64 gold that has been thrown. It's a combination of silver and gold coins that have been hurled at Eclipse. Carcass, can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
We're on a jogging track outside.
That is an 18.
You're keeping a good pace, but you're starting to get a little tired. You've been making haste for about 5 minutes straight now.
Oh, that is a long time to make the haste. So I will duck my head in the door on my next pass, and
Yes, Carcass?
do I have to keep running?
No, of course not. Come back in when you're done.
Oh, good. I'm very tired.
Come on in, Carcass. You did great.
Okay, thank you. That was a fun game, but I'm tired now.
Go get some rest. You've earned it.
Okay, and I will just have a seat at the nearest table and try to go to sleep.
The nearest table would be the one they're sitting at, so you just find yourself a chair and lay face down on the table, I assume.
Oh, yes.
You do notice before you lay your head down to rest that Eclipse is up at the very top of the building on the main beam.
Oh, I will look up. Hello, kitty cat.
Hi, Carcass.
Why are you on the ceiling?
Lysander asked me to be.
Oh. Okay. Don't fall on me. I'm going to sleep now.
Okay, good night.
Oh, night night. And I will fall face forward into the table.
And as Carcass lays his head down to rest, a door opens in the back of the mead hall as Zizek seems to be exclaiming something that's unintelligible at the moment, but as he draws closer, you hear him say something.
So Zizix is also kind of obstructed because he's carrying something underneath a cloth, and he's just muttering to himself, This is the best yet. My greatest invention. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for everyone to see this. And he just keeps muttering this as he gets to kind of a table. And he looks to he looks to Lysander and say, Lysander, can you help me get this up on the table?
Of course. And I will assist him.
This thing's covered in a cloth, right?
Yeah.
Alright, and you guys both are able to lift this up and place it on top of the table.
And then Zizix is gonna get up onto a chair and kind of in as loud of a voice as he typically does, he says, Ladies, gentlemen, travelers, can I have your attention?
He looks.
Man, can I get some water?
And the barkeep does bring you water and hands it off to you in about a minute.
I asked that all of your eyes look this way. I have created something that you've never seen before.
What is it?
And he kind of just for showmanship, he like snaps his fingers and has like some puff of smoke come out.
Ooh.
And he just starts waving his hand and get to clear the smoke away. So, this is a next generation of the perfect being. I present to you, and he's gonna grab the cloth and he's gonna rip it off. Pointy. And what you guys see is a direct mirror image of Carcass in a miniature format, with the metallic body, gears for his chest, his legs, his arms. His horns are just solid metal with a very, very sharp tip on the end. With metallic dragon-like wings.
Where can I buy this? You
Great
hear
question.
one of the commoners scream out.
And Zizix is gonna point to wherever he came from and says, "Great question! You can't!
Why do I care? I want to buy it for more now.
Well, there's always gonna be the first!"
20 gold.
Zizix, he's just gonna like drop his hands down to his side and just look around and say, guard, take this guy away! What a fool! However, I need one more thing. And he's gonna look over to Carcass.
Who is asleep on the
Yes.
table.
And he's gonna clear his throat, go, Carcass?
Hello, Sticks. Oh, hello, Carcass.
I need one last thing just from you.
Oh, okay. What do you want?
I need Pointy.
Oh, is it time to make the jewelry?
It is.
Okay, and I will open up my bag and rummage around until I find my pointy stone.
Yep, and the surrounding area just is fumigated with just rot and disgusting smells.
Nice.
I will pick it up out of my bag and I will kind of fling off any rancid debris that is on it and hand it to Steve.
I thought you were going to like put it in your mouth to like, just to clean it off. Anyways.
Oh, not this
Put it
time.
in Lexmead.
Alright.
Ziz
Ziz is gonna hold out his hand and grab the stone. Then he's gonna walk right up to his miniature Carcass, aka Pointy. And right on the middle of its chest, it has a indentation just big enough for this stone. And Zizix is going to place it, and as he places it, a little zap from his finger just springs it into life. Its eyes start glowing blue. You start to see the gears turning and turning, and little billows of smoke coming out of its nose, as that's where its exhaust pipes are. And he just looks around and lets out the mightiest roar that it can. And it just happens to sound like a mouse.
So one guy has been taken away already by a couple of people who were just enthralled with your presentation, and they said, another one says, shouldn't the exhaust pipes be on the tail end?
Zizix is gonna look around to see who said that. And
It's hard
say,
to tell.
are you an engineer?
And as you're scanning the crowd, everyone stays quiet, and everyone seems to be turning to their left and to the right to try to exactly know who said what.
If you were, you would know that the rear is the hardest to defend. And its weakest point. So why would I put it behind him when I can put it square in the middle of his face?
Easiest point of ingress.
Wouldn't the smoke obscure his vision? And now you see exactly who said it.
And Zizix is gonna say, Sir! I say this one time only. Just feel lucky you are in his presence.
Is that same contrarian fuck who owes me a few teeth?
It is not.
Uh-uh.
And then, as Zizix is just gonna continue his presentation, as a means of demonstrating his prowess, and Zizix will turn to Pointy and say, Pointy, make haste. And then Pointy is just going to take off and start circling and flying around the tavern as fast as it can. But because it's still new, it'll probably run into a few, into the walls and stuff like that, and maybe crash into a candle or something.
Okay, yeah.
Literal bull in a china shop, but it can fly.
Then you hear one more voice call out, a familiar voice, and say, "Who's next to give a TED Talk?"
Who said that?
And you see one man proudly standing up over near the hearth. I did.
And you are?
Ted.
Well, Ted, what did you bring for the class today?
I can show you something. And Ted, he dons his very small bifocals.
He's a flasher.
Puts he puts on his very small bifocals and he says, What is communication? What does that really mean? Is it just easy enough to write a letter and send it on a bird or something to get it to the next town? What if communication was actually more than that?
Andy leans over to Silas and says, "Way to ask him."
Don't worry, this thing he's talking about, it'll never take off.
What if we created phone lines? I would call it a game of telephone almost, but I have something to show. You, sir, over here, take this cup. And he gives him a cup that has a string in it. And he says, now, I'm going to walk to this hallway. You see that we are connected by strings. And he begins to walk all the way towards the back. And he says, please, put your ear up to the cup. And I'm going to whisper something. And the man obliges and he puts his ear up to the cup and he says, you don't hear anything, but the man's face is just completely shocked. He says, it's like he's right here next to me talking. What is this? He says, this is the brilliancy of communication. It could be so much more. We could put lines from this town to the next and immediately have conversations with them.
Sir, I do hate to rain on your parade, but I've already done something superior.
What do you mean?
Silas will hold his hand up to his ear and cast message and just say, you can't compete with magic, you old fool.
And his face kind of drops as he's come back from the hallway. And he says, this is an equal opportunity. This isn't just reserved for people of magical inclinations. This is for the common man.
Never mind.
Tricks. Smoke and mirrors. That's what people like this would want to give you. But for a small fee, I can give you each one of your own. And the crowd starts to think, "Huh, this is actually interesting." The murmurs from the crowd start to build. It says, "Now, who would like to try talking to one another from a different room?" And a bunch of hands shoot up, and they say, "Come, come!" And he pulls out a few more of these devices, and he sets them up in the mead hall. And now a lot of the patrons have started to move towards testing this stuff. While the man goes back to the hearth, and he looks at Zizix and he says, "How's that for engineering? I captivated their hearts into believing. What have you done but created a small servant?"
Sir, I've created the possibility for everlasting life.
Well, who would want that?
Ted, could I borrow you for a moment? I would love to talk to you about an investment opportunity.
Sure, I'm wide open for investments.
Can I take Ted into the back alley?
You sure can.
I'd like to try and persuade him and say, "All right, Ted, for this to work, you see this piece of copper?
Yes, I do.
I need you to put it into your mouth. It's candy, I promise."
Well, it tastes like blood.
I would like to cast heat metal on the piece of copper in his mouth.
All right. For that is a con save, correct?
No, it's just 2d6 fire damage, I believe.
Oh, no shit. Oh, that's right. Go ahead and roll damage.
Sorry, 2d8. Here we go. 8.
That is, so you see that the piece of copper has created so much heat that immediately you see it start to singe, and soon it goes out of sight from his mouth as it drops down directly through his throat and all the way down his body. You see his hands start to grab his throat and try to spit it out, but he's not able to breathe anymore, and you see his hands tracking the heat all the way down to his body before he drops to his knees and pulls over into the snow and is quivering at this point.
I suppose I'll give him a quick stomp on the back of the neck just to be sure.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an unarmed strike with advantage.
Yeah, it's 19.
And with a quick stomp of the neck, he is not moving.
Okay, bury him in the snow and get my copper back if I can.
You would have to disembowel him. It is burned through his throat, down to his gullet, down to his chest, and that's the last where you saw his grabbing his arm.
Never mind, that's way too much. Just drag him away, bury him in the snow, and come on back.
All right. And it doesn't take much to bury him in the snow. You just actually have to pick him up and plop him down, and he actually falls most of the way down. And then you just kind of bury it over. So quick work, and within 2 minutes you find yourself free to go where you please.
I'll just go back to the tavern.
Right.
Kind of dishevel myself a little bit as I come in.
Okay. And you make your way back into the tavern.
That man tried to assault me.
You don't say. What?
I did what I could to defend myself, but apparently my offer was no good for him. He ran off. I'm sure he got away. Either way, excellent work, Zizix.
Zizix is just gonna have a proud chip on his shoulder. and kind of command pointed to come back over and kind of sit with him.
I'm sure we could find great use for that in time, but for now, using it as your personal tool, I can see lots of benefits for it. I'm quite proud of you.
Benefit for who? You?
Perhaps down the line, but I meant for us as a group.
I'm sorry, but this guy's not a servant for anyone to do their bidding for.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant it could give us aid in combat, much like your old one used to do.
I mean, this is Pointy's vessel. I don't know how useful he'll be in combat. He sure looks mean. And then Pointy's just gonna be kind of walking around, kind of like Baby Groot out of Guardians, just like.
So it's a mascot. Understood. Well, either way, that mind of yours is something special. I think it could be used for quite a few projects.
I mean, it is. I have 12 in my head right now.
Oh, wonderful. If you ever need any assistance, don't hesitate to ask.
Oh, I can typically manage by myself.
Suit yourself. And Silas will just come back to the table. So, did I miss anything?
No, not really.
Everyone in the tavern seems to be very fascinated by this cup and string mechanic.
Sam, I really don't think they are.
No, they are.
Oh, okay.
By the way, of that 63 gold that was hurled at Eclipse, how much of it did I manage to scoop up?
Roll a D20.
Does that go for everybody who attempted to scoop up gold?
Sure. Yeah.
17.
17 gold.
I rolled a nat 20.
You got 20.
15.
There you go.
Who got the rest of it then?
Seems to be still scattered on the floor.
Going for it.
Eclipse, I assume, has
Think
made
it
her
may-
way down.
Yeah.
Well, if Eclipse is going for the gold, I'll back off. She can have the rest, whatever.
Yeah, it was thrown at me. I think I deserve more.
By all means, take your share of the spoils.
She's gonna like pick up all the gold and like, gosh, can't believe people threw gold at me kind of way.
I didn't mean for them to throw it at you, just towards you. They're all very stupid.
I guess.
I know how you feel, though. I lost a copper.
Oh no, so sad.
It's quite devastating. I don't know if I'll ever financially recover from this.
You may not, but you'll have to live with it.
I will go to Eclipse, give her 10 of the 20 that was in my hat, and say, here. Seeing as how it was my turn, my action that got you this money, I'm gonna split this with you and take a finder's fee.
I will offer Eclipse a kind nod and remind her it's her turn.
Lek will give her 1 copper.
What? Eat shit. Anyway, how
Too late.
That's somehow worth less than mine.
much gold would that come to with what was on the floor?
I believe the remainder is about 12 gold or so.
Okay.
So 22 gold and a copper then.
And 1 copper.
And not of approval,
And a
apparently.
nod. Let me just put that in my bag real quick.
By the way, Sam, I went ahead and deducted that copper from my stash. So
Okay, very good.
Deducted my copper from my stash, though. So,
we're both really feeling the loss today.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough, man.
Yeah, down a copper. Should have
I
invested in
just
Doge.
drop her a copper.
All right. So, if you guys are still going to be playing Action or Honesty, I believe it is Eclipse's turn.
Fine. Look. Action or honesty?
Well, but action.
All right. You can't make any more puns for the rest of the night.
Oh, balls.
Very well.
Did we just win D&D?
I believe so.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, don't worry. There's many other forms of humor. Anywho.
And that also includes your time in the fort, so no jokes to help you along.
Oh, please. I can be very persuasive when I want to be. Anyways, Andy, action or honesty?
I'll stick with honesty.
All right. Let's see. What is the most evil thing you've ever done?
Well, when I left home to travel, like I am now, I didn't tell my father or my brothers where I was going.
So, let me get this straight. Playing hard to get is the most evil thing you've ever done.
I'm a cleric, what do you expect?
To be fair,
Well,
a perfect daughter like Adriana, I'm sure that's had a devastating effect on them. They're probably worried sick about her. Probably good for a reward, too, just saying.
Thanks, Silas.
Of course.
Well, I guess that makes it my turn. Black. Action or honesty?
no. I seem to be popular today. Let's see. Well, I just did an action, so I suppose I will do honesty this time.
Right? Who was your patron?
Oh, who is my patron? Well, my patron's name is Gumbo the Great. He is a drake who lives in the very, very far north. Red drake, of course, and the red eye. And he's an undying drake, as a matter of fact, but he's a very benevolent undying drake. So yes, Gumbo the Great.
Can I roll
Insight.
insight on that?
Can I roll a religion on that? Because I don't know if I've ever heard.
Yeah, Andy, you would roll a
Religion.
religion. And then the others can roll insight as well, but we'll resolve
a
Andy's
5.
roll first.
I
Yeah,
got a 5.
I mean, maybe. It's kind of, it's not absurd to hear of a drake being a patron. There's lots of creatures that are patrons because of their ascension. So it's possible.
Interesting.
What were the
Nat-
insight rolls?
Natural 20 plus 1.
Fucking bullshit.
So 21. Okay.
As natural 20 here as well.
Fucking
Do I get
bullshit.
to roll deception again, please?
Oh, so it was a lie.
You ass.
Sorry, yes.
Well, you can know, but
Lek,
thank
yes,
you.
you would be rolling deception, sorry.
yeah, let me take care of that. Balls, 20, dirty 20.
Yeah, unfortunately, those nat 20s just saw right through this very amazing bluff of Gumbo the Great. And people have an inquisitive,
Simply amazing.
that sounds like bullshit kind of look that you can see.
I don't feel like you're being entirely honest about that.
Well, perhaps some things are best revealed in time.
That's not the name of the game.
Honesty, Lek.
Hmm.
Or is it a fact that you can't tell us?
They may not be entirely aware.
It's more so I don't think ready to know.
I'm wounded, Lek. You don't trust me.
Well, not that I think little of your, what's the word? Understanding, acceptability? No. Open-mindedness, there we go. But I'm just not entirely convinced you're ready to hear, so I suppose I will go to bed. And Lek gets up and leaves.
Before you do that, I would like to remind you that you're talking to a metal man. I've got a pretty open mind to a lot of things.
Yes, and I am a tiefling.
Yes, and there are things in the world are different. And I go out the door.
Into the room?
No, I'm gonna go to Shandar's house.
Oh, okay.
Well, who's shitting his britches today?
Good one.
Well, Adriana, since your target left, I suppose you can ask again. Or,
Right?
whoa, yes.
Silence.
Yes, darling.
Were your parents cruel to you as a child?
Oh, you didn't ask me action or honesty, but I would have selected honesty, so.
Figured.
That is difficult to comprehend. I would suppose so. I am the firstborn of triplets, and I am the only one with my affliction. Rightfully, the throne should be mine. I'm the firstborn. But they always favored my brothers. They weren't cruel directly. Mother was downright kind every so often, but they manipulated my brothers, allowed them to take their rage and anger out on me in order to gain favor. It's how I got this, and Silas will kind of point up to his broken horn. Quite frankly, it's rare that anyone knows that I exist outside the capital's central staff. It was even more shocking when Malia knew about me, so I'm a little concerned, to be honest. But Dad's sick. He's on his way out. I've done what I can by coming here to see if I could find some kind of a cure. That maybe perhaps I might find myself in their good graces again and take what is rightfully mine.
That's awful, Silas. I'm sorry they treated you that way.
I don't need your pity, Adriana. I've lived with it my entire life. I'm fine.
And he just raises an eyebrow slightly.
Well, Zizix, are you wanting to play with us?
Oh no, you guys go ahead. I got some other stuff to do. And Zizix will just kind of whistle and over to Pointy, and they'll head back up to their room.
Yeah, I would like to follow Zizix, say, and turn to everybody and say, I think I'll be leaving too.
Probably a
You all
good
have a
time to
good
get some rest.
So we're just ending things then. There's only 3 of us left, unless someone wants to keep going. No, we're done.
Seems to be that way.
Dreadfully
Did you have
unfortunate.
something else you wanted to ask?
I always have questions, but if you're all finished, no worries. We can get some rest and hit the road bright and early.
You can always play more.
It's a long way to Bryn Shander. I'm sure we'll find a way to pass the time.
Did you all at least enjoy yourself?
I did. It's a fun game.
Yes, I used to play it with those closest to me.
So, Lysander and Zizix, they head back into their room. What are you guys gonna do once you get back to the room?
I'm gonna knock on the door before going in.
Yes, who is it?
It's me.
Can you be a little bit more specific?
Well, if my voice didn't give it away, it's your old pal Lysander.
Well, why didn't you just say so?
I just did.
Come on in.
I'm gonna go in and close the door. Say, remember that idea we were discussing?
Which one? We've had many ideas.
I'm going to place the chain on the table.
Ah, yes. And I'll take out my monocle and just kind of start looking at the chain.
Mhm.
What kind of metal is this?
Iron.
Ooh, an iron chain. Nice. Iron.
So Zizix will just kind of, pick it up and straighten it out, make sure that everything looks pretty sound, and well, this thing's got some weight to it.
Yeah, I think I can handle it.
Well, you either handle it or it'll handle you.
I should say, of course, iron has a lot of benefits towards certain creatures and aberrations. I think this will come in quite useful.
Well, I mean, you get smacked in the face with a chain. I mean, that's gonna hurt.
I don't plan on smacking myself in the face.
Well, no. No one really ever plans to do that. But, I
Well,
mean, it does happen.
No one ever plans to cut themselves with a sword either. I guess it's just a chance we'll have to take.
Alright. So, detail out exactly how you want this to work. Because it's not about me, it's about how you want it.
Well, I want it to be able to shoot out of my arm, and for me to be able attached to my sickle, and for me to be able to reel it in to whatever I snag.
How far do you want this thing to shoot out?
The whole length of it, 15 feet.
And what kind of mechanism do you want for the reeling? I mean, do you want like a fishing reel? I mean, we can whip something up like that, I guess. It may take a while to reel that bad boy back in.
I'm sure we'll come up with something.
Or you're thinking more of kind of a motorized wheel?
Whatever can fit in my arm.
I think I got just the thing, just the ticket.
Excellent. Shall we get to work?
And then Zizix is gonna snap on some gloves, and put on his worker's apron, and say, well, go ahead and lie down over there. I don't know if this will hurt or not.
We'll find out. You have my trust.
Which arm are we working on?
That'd be my left arm.
Okay.
The one with the sickle on it.
And you guys proceed to get started in working on Lysander's arm, and that work will take you into the night. Meanwhile, everyone else is considering heading in for the night, is that correct? Or did you have other things in mind?
Andy is actually gonna see if she can slip Carcass's bag away from him so she can take it out into the snow to clean it out.
Oh, you're playing with
Okay.
fire. Good night.
Go ahead and make
See Andy.
a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
Constitution saving throw as well, probably.
Tell us we'll watch this if that's okay.
Absolutely.
19. I got a 19.
Wow. He's so tired from running laps, but you're able to slip away his bag, and you open it, and you immediately just catch that scent of just horrid rot.
Ooh.
Are you dumping everything out? Are you just picking through it? What are you doing?
Well, I've taken it outside at this point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have some onlookers though. People have followed you out.
Yo.
Just Silas?
I'll come too.
Okay, Andy's gonna dig a hole to, like, bury the rotted stuff in.
Okay.
Go this way. Go this way.
Okay.
Silas leads you around the corner.
Different corner. Yes.
And Andy will dig a kind of hole to bury the stuff in.
Okay.
And she'll dump into the hole.
All right. So inside of this bag, you dump out. You see a wooden fork, half of a wheel of cheese, some sort of pillow, a couple of large ogre fingers, an eye and sausage. You see a random human heart, perhaps from a vegan. There's also a blanket in there, some yeti horn, some jerky, and then you find a head of a dwarf, and then finally some sort of meat hunk.
Okay. So she's gonna set aside like the
And also about a bunch of gold.
Yoink,
Okay.
please.
Nope. That's all carcasses.
He doesn't spend it.
He's
It
going
could be
to
far more
He says he
useful
doesn't have
for the
any.
party.
Silas. Will you
Let me hold on to it
nope,
for the oath.
Nope, I take care of him. I'll hold on to it.
Smack.
I have a plan. And so Andy is going to separate the gold. She's going to take the fork.
There's about
And
600
pillow.
there.
Okay. And then she's going to take the fork and the pillow and the blanket. Anything that can be washed, you know?
Yeah.
And she'll set those aside. And once the bag is emptied, she's going to like scrub it in the snow to get all the gook out, you know?
Yeah, sure.
And so once the bag is cleaned up, she'll invert it and put she'll wash out the blanket and the pillow too in the water, in the river water, I think.
Hmm.
And the fork. So once those are all clean, she'll kind of hold on to them because she's going to hang them up to dry. And then she's going to bring the bag with the cleaned up gold back to the inn so that she can buy some jerky, like dried meat, to fill it with.
Okay. And that's done easily enough. How
much gold would she spend to kind of fill it the same amount?
Probably about 30 gold.
Okay,
There's some
so,
heavy stuff in there.
He has. Okay, so I'm gonna put this separate in my inventory as Carcass's gold because she's gonna babysit it for him.
All right.
I could hold all the gold if you'd like. I'm just saying.
I know, but I look after him. I should be responsible for his upkeep. I pay for all of his meals.
Yes, and look, he could be paying for himself if he
He does
knew how
good
to.
money, and I'll handle it for him. No worries.
Fine, could you at least buy me some armor?
No, this is Carcass's money.
No.
Yes, and I am a very vital member of this team. I feel like a bit more armor
You
would go a
just
long way.
got new armor.
Yes, but it's all clunky and I don't like it. I would like to be able to take a hit a bit better. I feel the same in this armor.
Well, you'll earn more gold.
Yes, but we have 600 here. I'm just saying.
We don't. Carcass does. So, Sam, how would I add this to my inventory? Like, I can't add it to my gold without it, like,
Yeah.
combining with my gold.
You could add it as 60 platinum.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You can, in fact, do that.
Okay, so my platinum is all just carcasses.
All right. Anything else?
Andy's gonna carefully put the bag back where it was.
Okay. Make
And
another
hang up.
sleight of hand check.
Okay. Oh, and the fork she's gonna put back in the bag beforehand.
Okay.
That's a 9.
Carcass, you feel something moving around your back.
Oh, I will reach back to itch it. It must be a bug on me.
And you scratch around where your pack is on your side, and it doesn't feel like it's super itchy, but it's not itchy no more.
Oh, okay. That feels much better.
Andy's gonna pat Carcass on the shoulder and say, "Carcass, are you ready to go to bed?"
Oh, yes, Carcass is very tired.
Okay, Andy'll walk up to the room with him and wait until he's all settled and sleeping in bed to hang up the blanket and pillow to dry.
Okay. Very good.
If possible, I'd like to get Adriana alone for a moment.
Sure.
I will
The
awkwardly.
fuckport's available.
Shut up. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure you do that. But I will get the hint and awkwardly shuffle back inside.
Adriana, darling, before you rest, action or honesty?
Honesty.
Do you think I'm a good person?
I think you could be.
I think you're an idiot. Good night.
Good night.
And Silas will go to bed.
All right. Andy, are you also heading out for the night?
Yeah, I'm going to bed.
All right, and then we have Eclipse and Lek, who is actually you're inside of Shandar's house. So Eclipse and Vega are the only
Roger
ones
that.
remaining. And then the barkeep comes over and says, "Oh, where's that good-looking elf with the weird-ass eye?" She asked that to Eclipse.
There, hold on. I don't think I was coming through.
You are not.
Ruh-roh. But she said, shut up. She said, I don't know where he went. He ran off too because he kind of got upset. But I hope he comes back soon because he has an obligation.
And she kind of shakes her head and she says, I don't want to make him feel obligated to do this. I was just kind of looking forward to it. It's been a long time since I went into a fort.
I know. And we really wanted you to be in the... You can go in the fort still if you want.
And she glances over at it and she says, "Do you think I should wait there?"
I
No, you
think
think
you
you know.
should.
Maybe blow the cobwebs off first.
Sweet Jesus.
And she says, "All right, I'm gonna go do that." And she heads over into the fort that was constructed by Lek and waits.
The rain check fuckport. Oh boy.
That you did this.
Like is gonna get poisoned again.
Uh, in any case, what's Lek doing? What's up, Lek? What you doing in Shandar's house?
Well, Lek is a little irritated, and one thing he likes to do when he's irritated is clean. So right now he's cleaning Shandar's house, picking up the random pieces of trash, straightening up the furniture, things of that nature.
Okay. And a few hours pass, and you've cleaned up the house quite a bit. It's all tidy and in order. What now?
What time is it now?
It's probably closer to 5 or 6 at least.
Jesus. All right.
It's a lot of darkness for these days, so it's a little deceiving.
True. You know what? Lek is going to go on a walk around town, on the outskirts of town.
The outskirts of town. Okay.
Yep. Like by the tree line.
Sure. So, make your way outside towards the tree line and hang out over by where the lumberjacks are, and you see a couple of them hauling in a tree that had been either cut down or blown over. It looks very jagged from the looks of it. And you hear him call out. You hear one of them call out, "Hey, Lek! It's Lex!
Hail, Lex.
What are you doing out
How's
here?"
Oh, well, it would be at this point where I would say sworn off puns for the night. So, I'm just on a walk, getting some fresh air, clearing my head, I suppose. How's the wood business?
Business is a boomin'.
I'm very happy to hear that.
A lot of free timber falling over.
I suppose that's one of the advantages of harsh weather of this nature.
Yeah, it's helpful sometimes, but gotta get it processed in case we need to negotiate more food stores if the fishermen couldn't get access to bring in their haul of knucklehead trout and all that stuff. We luckily have a river close by that doesn't freeze all the way through, but other towns, not so lucky. Those lakes, they're cold as ice.
Indeed. Well, I can assure you when we go to Bryn Shander for the meeting of the speakers, I guarantee that we will be there to help Olivessa, and we will negotiate the best that we can.
Oh, you're heading out there with her,
Our
huh?
abilities. That we are.
Wow, fancy.
Oh, fancy, yes.
I heard they reserve the biggest steaks for that meeting. They have a storage of aged steaks just for the elite of the 10 towns.
Well, I'm not ashamed to say that seems a bit of a mixed message and not necessary.
Well, it was tradition.
Tradition, yes. Well, some traditions should die, I think. I think tradition can be a very dangerous thing, Lex. But
I agree, Lex.
I'm sorry, you're catching me in a very odd mood right now. But you do seem like a very sensible fellow, so I'm not afraid to say such things.
Oh, just wait. If you want to sit down and have a talk, I got some wild theories.
Sometimes wild theories can be the most insightful. So I'd love to sit down with you sometime, Lex.
All right, well, next time you're in town after this meeting, come and find your alter ego, Lex.
You bet your woodland ass I will do such a thing.
My woodland ass.
That's the one.
Oh, all right.
Because you work in the woods.
Got it.
Sorry, once again, in an odd mood. My apologies. Anyways, well, don't work too late or too hard. It's getting cold out there.
All right, you take your red Orby ass and go stay warm.
Of course, this orb ass will create much friction, and I will be warmed by it. All right, farewell, Lex.
You're catching some friction on your orb ass? But you see, I said it's your orb ass because your orb. You have an orb on your staff. And I suspect in your eye. Is that right? Is that on the nose? Did I get it?
Yes, you did. I don't actually have an orb on my ass. I didn't go for that particular treatment.
Well, I don't have wood on my ass either, so we're equal.
Good. Lex, I'm really glad we cleared this up. I was afraid we'd leave this meeting with mixed messages, so this is good.
Communication's key. I hear there's a Ted in town who's giving a talk of some sort about communication.
Yeah, I was there for one of his talks this afternoon. Although he left early and no one's seen him since, so that's a bit of a mystery. But I'm sure he'll turn up.
It's a little ironic that he didn't communicate where he was going with anybody, being such a communication fixture in the town.
Indeed.
Now,
That's very
listen,
ironic.
I don't mean to hold you up and keep you from what you're doing, but I just thought, if you happen to have seen what this thing is, what's going on with what's the thing that he was doing?
That Ted was doing?
Yeah, the thing Ted was doing. What was it?
Well, he had this device where there was two cups, and he had a string that connected them, and you could stand in another room and whisper into a cup, and if somebody had the corresponding room, if they put it to their ear, they could hear every word the other person said, even if they're whispering ever so silently. It was fascinating, I'll give him.
That is amazing, I would say. That's just, well, I don't mean to take up any more of your time, so, but hey, how'd you get that eye?
Well, it was a gift, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Wow.
An odd gift, grant you, but magic tends to come in odd forms sometimes.
Well, that's just really interesting, Lek. That's just not something you hear every day, but I don't want to take up any more of your time. But look, I do have another question. So what's the deal with the staff orb? Is that like a family heirloom and you just happen to get a matching eye, or did that also come from the person who gave you your eye as a gift?
This fucking guy is from the Midwest.
No, it was a matching set that came with the eye, and I'm a very firm believer in accessorizing. So I picked it for that reason.
And Lex starts to approach you. He's like, well, that's a really nice looking staff. I'm just gonna grab something behind you. Let me sneak past you here. And he bends over and picks up a couple of things, iron hooks that they used for lugging trees around. He said, I caught that in the corner of my eye. Don't mind me. Oh. You ever have any of these? You like these iron hooks? You ever seen these before? My woodland ass had them.
Have I ever seen an iron hook before? Well, having not really done much work in lumber, I might have glanced them in passing, but I guess I've never really thought about it that much before. So, not much, to be honest.
Yeah. If it's honest work, and if I know Lex like I know a Lek, I think you do pretty good at it, I'd say. But I've kept you long enough. I hope you have a good rest of your night.
Yes, I'm sure I will. It was good to see you again, Lex, and I'll definitely come find you, especially when I'm in a better mood once again. Apologies for that.
Well, I'm sorry you're in a bad mood. What's keeping you down, man?
I'm sorry, what was that, Lex?
I'm sorry you're feeling down. What's got you in a twisted old mood?
Oh, well, honestly, it's one of those things where it means a lot more to you than it would be to somebody else. So if you told them, it really just seems quite silly. So I barely know you, quite frankly, Lex. And while you seem like a great guy, it's really nothing. It's just one of those things that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Well, from one Lex to a singular.
Questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I asking too many questions?
No. That not you, but it has to do with that. But go ahead and say what you were going to say. I imagine it was going to be very insightful.
Oh no, I was just acknowledging that it's probably a hard time you're going through, and if you need anything, you can always reach out. And a good day on the land to clear your head. Keep that in mind. I always go by that rule.
Yeah. Kind of had the same thought when I came out for a walk.
Yeah, see, like minds think alike.
So far, it's been refreshing.
Or should I say,
of
Lek
course.
minds think alike?
No, they think alike, actually. But, curses, I wasn't supposed to say that. Oh, well, I already cheated at the damn game anyway, so what's it matter? Anyway.
Well, all right. Well, I guess I'll let you get on with your night. You have a good one, all right? Drop another D10 down the grate.
Well, that's just great. I shall.
That was a pun. You've lost the game.
Yeah, I'd already lost the game a while ago, truth be told. So no, I'm in like chaos mode right now. So just look at it.
Now we've all lost the game. Ha ha ha.
Oh shit!
Damn it. On that, I'm ending the damn stream. I just lost the game. That's it. We're calling it.
Oh man! And everybody that's listening in just lost the game too.
Well, it's a total of 8 people. That's fine. 16 total. But anyways. Oh, Intrepid is live. Let's go ahead and give him a little shout out, a little bit of love. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the session, the show. It's great. It was a good little session full of some nice, fun little games. So we're going to go ahead and end it there. But with that, let's see. It's the Intrepid. He's playing Divinity Original Sin. Drop him a follow. He's a good dude, part of the tavern community. We'll see you guys again next week, starting at 7 p.m. Central. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
No.